Hare Krishna Maharaj. It's
Hare
all good.
Krishna.
And
This morning we will discuss Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 19. Chapter is entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudirayat Nastvayasya Bhadrasu Nityam Bharata Sevya Bharavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So text 19. Kechit Vikalpa Vasana Ahur Atmanam Atmana Devinanye Pare Karma Svabhavam Apare Prabhum. So the word for a translation. Keshit, some of them. Vikalpa Vasana, those who deny all kinds of duality. Ahu declare Atmanam, own self, Atmanaha, of the self, Devam, superhuman, Anye, others, Apare, someone else, Karma, activity, Svabhavam, material nature, Apare, many other, Apare, someone else, Karma, activity, Svabhavan, material nature, Apare, many other, Prabhum, authorities. Translation. Some of the philosophers, those who deny all sorts of duality, declare that one's own self is responsible for his personal happiness and distress. And others say that superhuman powers are responsible, while others say that activity is responsible. And the gross materialists maintain that nature is the ultimate cause. Purport. As referred to above, philosophers like Jaimini and his followers establish that fruitive activity is the root cause of all distress and happiness, and that even if there is a superior authority, some superhuman powerful god or gods, he or they are also under the influence of fruitive activity because they reward a result according to one's action. They say that action is not independent because action is performed by some performer. That therefore the performer himself is the cause of his own happiness or distress. In Bhagavad Gita 6.5, also it is confirmed that by one's mind freed from material affliction, one can deliver himself from the sufferings of material pangs. So one should not entangle himself in matter by the mind's material affliction. Thus one's mind is one's friend or enemy in one's material happiness and distress. Atheistic materialistic Sankhyates conclude that material nature is the cause of all causes. According to them, combination of material elements are the cause of material happiness and distress, and disintegration of matter is the cause of freedom from all material pangs. Gautama and Kanada find that atomic combination is the cause of everything, and impersonalists like Astavakra find that the spiritual effulgence of Brahman is the cause of all causes. But in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself declares that he is the source of impersonal Brahman, and therefore he the personality of Godhead is the ultimate cause of all causes. It is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that Lord Krishna is the ultimate cause of all causes. Read the verse again. Kashit vikalpa vasana aur atmanam atmana devinanye pare karma svabhavam apare prabhum. Some philosophers, those who deny all sorts of duality, declare that one's own self is responsible for his personal happiness and distress. Others say that superhuman powers are responsible, while yet others say that activity is responsible. And gross materialists maintain that material nature is the ultimate cause. Om Jnanatimanasya Jnanjana Shalakya Shakshura Militam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptam Yena Bhutale Shvam Rupakadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam Avandeham Shiyuda Padakam Shirum Vaishnavam Shah Shri Upam Jagajatam Sagana Raghunatam Pitam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savlutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lita Shivishakam Vitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Siddhadevi Pranama Maharipriya Vancha Kalpta Vishya Kripasin Vivsha Patna Pavanabhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paskachai Desatarni. Srila Prabhupada Ki. So here Maharaj Pariksit that he's touring in his kingdom and he sees there this person dressed as a royal beating a cow and a bull. And the cow represents the earth and the bull represents Dharma. The bull is standing only on one leg, has lost 3 legs. That Maharaj Pariksit said, how is it that you come in this condition? Who has done this to you? That who is the perpetrator? Who has done this? And the bull said, I don't know. Different philosophers have different opinions why it happened. That and here I start to speak about that these philosophers who have different opinions. That Prabhupada comments on this in the purport. So these philosophers with all their theories, speculations, are known as 6 darshans, 6 philosophies known in India. And these 6 philosophies, yes, they are Nyaya, logic. This is brought before by Gautama. Gautama started this speculation of Nyaya. Nyaya is logic. It's concerned with Praman. What is the valid way to get knowledge? Prabhupada many times speaks also about that. There are material knowledge. With material knowledge, with our brains, we cannot, with this body, with this mind, we cannot know the absolute truth. Because we are naturally, we have 4 defects, we are senses which are imperfect, and that we are an illusion, that senses that are imperfect, we are in illusion, and that and then there are 2 others, I forgot them, but anyway, we are not able to understand the absolute truth with this body, mind, and senses, because the absolute is transcendental. That's how to get knowledge, valid knowledge. Valid knowledge, pratyaksa is a method to get knowledge to the senses, the mind and senses, by sense perception. Like the scientists, that's all about sense perception. Is this a valid way to get the absolute truth? No, it is not. That's one way. And then is reasoning, reasoning a way to get knowledge, inference. No, because we are still imperfect. That it's also not right knowledge, right way. Pranam, that this discussion and logic, reasoning, inference, no. You cannot debate, through debate come to the absolute truth. It's not possible. Madhvacharya, when he was 18, he was known as a great philosopher and very learned in the Bhagavatam. He memorized practically all the slokas. And a disciple of a Buddhist master came to him and said, "My master wants to have a debate with you on the absolute truth." And Madhvacharya said, the absolute truth cannot be known by reasoning. So there was no debate. But of course, there is another Brahman, which is Sabda Brahman, transcendental sound vibration. Like Bhagavad Gita is transcendental sound vibration. And Bhagavatam, transcendental sound vibration. That is a valid way to get the absolute truth. But Nyaya seeks liberation through correct knowledge, emphasizing inference, discussion, debate as tools to remove our ignorance. But it's not possible in that way. But it was a speculation of Gautama. But that's going together with Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika, so the source of everything, says, are atoms. They don't explain where these atoms come from, that atoms. That all the objects of perception are made of atoms, and that knowledge will help one to attain liberation. That it's trying to explain the reality to categories, to qualities, so many things. It's metaphysics, atomism and metaphysics combined. Vaisheshika. Then you have Sankhya. We are speaking about not Sankhya from the Bhagavatam, but the atheistic Sankhya, which is just the dualism between Purush and Prakriti. But where comes Prakriti from and where does Purush comes from, the living entity, they are not discussing. And now they become entangled, they don't explain either. But it's a dualistic system, making the difference between the Purusha of the consciousness and Prakriti matter. And realize, and one can get liberation by realizing the distinction, how we are distinct from material nature, the Sankhya. And then you have the yoga, not the yoga from Patanjali, yeah, that it's based on the Sankhya philosophy and trying to understand through meditation and self-discipline, to going to the process of Ashtanga yoga, realizing that we are spiritual, and and the purpose is to stop the activity of the mind and go and return to the self and come one with the Supreme. But that's not possible. It's a speculation. And then the fifth speculation, which is from Jaimini, and Prabhupada speaks about in the purport, the Mimamsakas, the Karma Mimamsa. They interpret the Vedas, that especially they are concerned with the ritual portion of the Vedas, and they are teaching how to perform Vedic duties, to do good karma, then you get good results, and avoid bad karma. That and by that you get rid of suffering, and by that you become liberated from all this suffering. Karma Mimamsa. And then you have Vedanta from Vyasadeva, that it interprets the Upanishads. Aham Brahmasmi, I'm Brahman. That Brahman is ultimate reality. That and liberation is just attained by knowledge by the self and recognizing we are Brahman, spiritual. That so these are all atheistic atheistic theories. That but yes, and that the point is that in reality, in the material creations, the Lord is the only supreme cause. The immediate cause is material nature, by which the cosmic manifestation is made visible. That so the created beings are of many varieties, such as demigods, human beings, and lower animals, and so on. And they are all subject to their past good and bad activities. But it's the Lord who gives them the proper facilities for such activities. And it's the Lord, the Supreme Lord, who makes the laws of nature, action and reaction. And that the Lord, Krishna is never responsible for our activities, but he has organized the laws, the system, so therefore, without knowledge of the transcendental nature of the Lord, one thinks that also Krishna is under the laws of nature, and that is an ordinary living entity. But one who thinks like that can never get liberation, and becoming entangled in these actions and reactions. But one who knows Krishna, that he becomes and knows the absolute truth, it becomes a soul, a Mahatma, that fixed in Krishna consciousness, connected with the spiritual energy. So, therefore, all these philosophers, they are looking at an intermediate cause, but they fail to make the point of, which is mentioned in Brahma Samhita, Sarva Karana Karanam. The remote cause, or the original cause, is Krishna. And so yes, that interesting, this Jaimini, this Karma Mimamsa, Lord Krishna uses that also to convince his father to give up the Indra Jahya, that worship for Indra. Krishna preaches atheism because he says even if there is some God, is also under the law of karma. The law of karma is supreme, he says, but he is joking because he uses this philosophy to make Indra very angry and to curb his pride. That what is the purpose of the lila one of the purposes of performing the Govardhan Lila is to break the pride of Krishna, or of the pride of Indra and the demigods. Because it says, according to Karma Mimamsa, karma is supreme. It says this Indra is useless because everyone is under the law of karma. If you have done good activities, Indra must give you good reactions. But that is done by material nature. It's not done by Indra. That Indra gives water, rain, the rain-giving god. But it's not that the rain is that is the cause of the rain. Now, he must give rain if people have good karma. He's a servant of the law of karma, that Krishna says. And this Indra gives water, throws water on the ocean where it's useless. And why do the clouds give rain? It's under the influence of the mode of passion, material nature, and that it's not because of Indra. By the mode of passion, it starts raining. So Krishna tells these demigods are useless. That, of course, Krishna says that also in Bhagavad Gita, that he says all the benefits the demigods give are factually bestowed by me. I'm also in their heart as a super soul, and I inspire them to give. So it's factually, it's just my benedictions that. So in that way, anyway, Krishna is using this Karma Mimamsa philosophy because he preaches it, because he's with the Vrajavasis. He cannot show them I'm God. No, because that will diminish their love for them. He does not want it. So he says, if there is any God, he says, is also under the law of karma. It's interesting that we expect God to speak always the truth. But there Krishna is joking and is using this false philosophy of Jaimini this karma mimamsa to explain that that Indra is not the cause of the rain, and therefore there is no need to worship this Indra and these demigods. Of course, Krishna is angry also in this pastime because, well, some kind of anger, because you see all these Vrajavasis, they are worshipping demigods here, and I'm here. I should be worshipped. I'm the Supreme Lord. So it's going to curb and rectify that in this pastime. So that the Vrajavasis worship him, and he convinces them that we should not worship Indra, but rather that we should worship that which gives us real benefit. And our real benefit comes from the cows. They give us milk and all riches, and by the blessings of the Brahmins, and by Govardhan. And Govardhan gives everything what's needed for the cows, that fresh grass, water to drink, and so on. So we should worship the Brahmins and Govardhan and the cows. So they used all the paraphernalia for the Indra Jagya to worship Govardhan. And then Krishna takes the form of Govardhan. He expands himself and he becomes a form on top of Govardhan. And he starts to eating all the offerings. Of course, it's an expansion of Krishna, because Krishna is also still there. As a young boy, is bowing down before Govardhan. So this is this ecstatic lila that of course Krishna had many reasons to perform this Govardhan lila, because next week, Wednesday, it will be Govardhan Puj. It's the first day of the waxing moon, the Pratipat from the waxing from the Krishna Paksha, of the Gaura Paksha. Now it's Krishna Paksha, it becomes darker, unless Monday is Amavasya. And it's the first day of the Pratipat, the first day of the waxing moon is Govardhan, and that is next week, Wednesday. And anyway, I bring it up because it's here this Jaimini, this philosophy of karma mimamsa, which is explained here and defeated in the purport. Because that Prabhupada speaks also about the Gautama Kanada, the Vaisheshika, the Sankhya philosophy. He addresses them also here in the purport. These are the 6 darshans, and that 6 philosophies which are factually atheistic. That the real Sankhya philosophy we find in the Bhagavatam explained by Lord Kapiladev to Mother Devahuti. And that's the real Sankhya philosophy, which starts with the Supreme Lord, who is the source of the creation, who puts in Brahman the 3 modes unmanifested, injects time, injects the living entities, and then it starts to move, it becomes Prakriti, and false ego is created in the 3 modes. And so that's all explained in the Bhagavatam. But the cause is Mahavishnu, is the Supreme Lord. And here there is, it says here, yes, if there is a God, then is also under the 3 modes of nature, that under karma. But Krishna is the lawmaker. He is transcendental. That so the Sankhya's say here, materialistic Sankhya philosophy, which is atheistic. Prabhupada writes it, atheistic, materialistic. So according to them, the combinations of material nature are the cause of material happiness and distress. But no, this is not what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. There, Krishna explains, I think it's in 13:21. Karya kartitve hetur pagatiuchyate pusham sukadukadam praktitve heturuchyate. So nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effect. That's right. But the living entity is the cause of his sufferings and enjoyments, happiness and distress. We are the cause of our happiness and distress. That only material nature is reaction. We get reactions to material nature. We want to enjoy without Krishna. And that's the cause of our suffering. That bhunkte pagate jan gunam, next verse. Puse pagatistve bhunkte pagate jan. The living entity enjoys material life in the three modes. It's due to association with material nature. That's the cause. Bhunkte pagate jan gunam. We want to enjoy, and we enjoy and we try to exploit material nature. We don't want to use it in Krishna's service. That's the cause of our problems, the root cause. And that is not touched upon by the Sankhya philosophy. That, yes, that the cause is material. Yeah, they say that the combination of material elements is the cause of material happiness and distress, and the disintegration of of matter is the cause of freedom from all material pangs. And that is what they think. And that, but no, we have to stop exploiting material nature and use everything in the service of Krishna. Then we will become freed from all material pangs and reactions. That then the atomic combination is the cause of everything. That, but no, where are coming the atoms from? They are starting with the intermediate cause, but what is the original cause? That. So Krishna is the ultimate cause of all causes, sarva karana karanam, and that is not understood. So all these philosophies want Krishna out of the center, and they came up with so many theories. Because why one has happiness or distress, that's. Yeah, Karma Kanda says the activity is responsible. That gross materialists say it's nature. What can we do? That but who controls nature? Prakriti Raman. Yeah. That's Maya Dyakshana Prakriti. Krishna says, I'm controlling material nature. Very, very, very clear. Krishna is very clear. I'm controlling material nature. In the 13th chapter, he gives details how he does it. That's how he is in every atom. How is the permitter, the sanctioner, the witness, and so on. That so all this atheistic philosophers, they never come to the truth. That and these are only the 6 darshans, but there are so many false theories the fifth canto, you have Prithu Maharaj fighting with Indra, and Indra takes the form of because Prithu Maharaj wanted to do his 100th Ashwamedha sacrifice, but Indra would not permit let it happen, because then Prithu Maharaj would be qualified to become Indra. So it takes the horse away of the sacrifice, and he flees. It takes the form of a false renunciant, and creates so many kinds of false religion that and that is these deviations. They are rampant. We find Krishna speaks about that in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse 2. Evam praptam imam racharsyo vidu sakalne mata yoganasta prantapa. So it was the chain of the civic succession was broken. Krishna says, and therefore I explain it again. It's broken because of deviation. Because in the 18th century, 19th century, beginning 19th century, the pure Chaitanya Vaishnava disappeared. But it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur who revived it. There were so many upper sampradayas. They have all names. There are 14 of them or something. And that so by human speculation, that comes all about. And it creates havoc, confuses people. One blind man is leading another blind man, and they fall into a ditch. But no, we should follow Guru Parampara and the pure teachings of Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam, and stay away from all these speculations, which gives explanations and opinions, but what can we do with our opinions? It has nothing to do with the absolute truth. The absolute truth can only come from Krishna. And only when we are pure in heart, we can receive them and realize them through the Guru Parampara. So that is a warning for us. We should take to the pure path of Krishna consciousness, follow the Mahajans. Majjana gato sapanta. We should follow the path of the Mahajans, those who know really the principles of religion. And so all those in the Guru Parampara, they are connected with this reality. And our acharyas also have the realization. They have the realization of this absolute truth. That because they have direct contact with Krishna in the heart. But to come to that realization, one must follow the pure path of bhakti as given by our acharyas. And one is to purify the heart by Vaidisana Bhakti, and then gradually develop this love for Krishna, come to Ashakti. And then one realizes the absolute truth. And then the absolute truth becomes a fact. There's no question of speculation anymore. But that can only be attained by following authorities. And it are the speculators who are cutting down religion by cutting down these legs of religion also, because they are misdirecting the people in general. So that is what I could say on this verse. Any comments, please?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance.
Thank
you, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful explanation. So, as far as these different darshanas or philosophies is concerned, how much we should be aware of that? Like, should we spend energy to understand those?
Srila Prabhupada explains that unless one is able to defeat all these philosophies, one should not speak from the Vyasasana. Very clear. It is a qualification to speak from the Vyasasana. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada in the 10th canto, chapter 87, the prayers of the Shrutis personified, there in that chapter is a big chapter. Prabhupada defeats all these 6 darshans. But if we know our philosophy nicely, it's easy to defeat them. But it's a qualification. If we want to give lectures on the Bhagavad Gita, we should know these philosophies and know how to defeat them. And Prabhupada in his books brings them all up on a regular basis. You will find them in the purport and why they are wrong. So we need to study them if we want to be preachers. If you don't preach, okay, that's fine. But if you want to come from the neophyte stage to the Madhyam stage, you must learn to defeat them and know how to defeat them and know their defects. That is what I learned from Prabhupada's purport. Does that help?
Yes, Maharaj, definitely. Yeah, thank you, Maharaj. So it is like 10.87, the complete chapter has 15 verses, about 50 verses it has. So all 10.87, right, Maharaj, you mentioned?
Yeah, Canto 10, chapter 87.
87. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But one has to read the purports.
Yes,
purports. But you can also read Krishna book. Prabhupada defeats them all in Krishna book also. Just read the chapter. It's a big chapter, 87. It begins with the Shruti personified. That one of the first prayers is the Shrutis, because they are representing the Upanishads, the transcendental knowledge, and it said what's the use of our existence? They pray to the Supreme Lord of that, because even if people read and get our knowledge, by your illusory energy, they are deviated. They can't understand it. So what's the use of us? That's how it starts. So you must be really fixed up to understand Krishna consciousness. The Maya is very strong. But if we are very strict in studying and hearing and practicing devotional service, and after many years, you will come fixed up, and you know what is what, and what is deviation, what is right. Yeah, that Prabhupada wanted us to come to that point, all that, and to become good preachers.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you. If you have time, then I have another question.
Yeah.
Unless somebody has any other question, anybody? You would. Okay, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, many times we hear and discuss about this. Krishna is Sarva Karana Karana. But what exactly that means, like if you want to understand it in the real meaning?
Yeah, the real meaning is that Krishna is the source of everything, because he has his expansions. His expansions are in him. They are within him. That they are non-different. So, because it's difficult to understand with our brain, because first expansion is Balaram. So one can say from Krishna comes Balaram, but that's not true, because that's a material concept that something is created. Balaram was never created. So an expansion is something much deeper than just that. But they are separate from Krishna. They are Krishna, but nothing is separate from Krishna. It's like it's difficult to understand. Like Queen Queen Rukmini, Krishna is told Rukmini, why did you marry me? I don't have anything. I'm a pauper. That I gave everything to Rasena. I took shelter in the ocean. You could have married Sisupal, a great king. But I take shelter of the ocean, afraid of my enemies. And I'm so poor. I don't have anything. And later Rukmini said, yes, it's true. You don't have anything. You can't have anything because you are everything. That's something we cannot understand. That's the same thing, in the same way. We cannot understand this with our brain because we are in the world of duality, and in that world there is no duality. There's no difference between Krishna and in expansions, and that's difficult to grasp. So we should not go too much deep intellectually. It will be understood when we are self-realized, when we come to that point. But theoretically, we can understand these things. That everything comes from Krishna, but is Krishna himself also? And that's the Uttamadikar. The Uttamadikar sees Krishna everywhere, because he's everywhere. And Prahlad Maharaj saw the Supreme Lord in a pillar. That was Hiranyakashipu said, where is your God? Is he in the pillar? And he said, yes, he's there. But he's really there. He's in every atom. So this all pervading and being a person at the same time, that is verse 9.4 and 9.5 of Bhagavad Gita, which explains this, which is inconceivable for our material intelligence. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I'm not in them. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence, although I'm the maintainer of all living entities, and although I'm everywhere, I'm not part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of the creation. So that's very difficult, because the source, the source or the origin, and you have what comes from the origin, the result. So the cause must be in the result, and that is a fact. So this is, I try to explain what we cannot understand with our material brain. But with devotion we can understand. There is something beyond our material intelligence, which is beyond our material intelligence. We cannot understand by logic. But because what Krishna says is translogical. It's not illogical, it's translogical. So that is the point, that principle. If we understand that principle, then we can start to accept this. Does that help, Purnachandra?
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, certainly. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, we have to see for next week, because next week on Wednesday, I'll be in Hohenstein, and Tuesday I'm traveling. I will look at it and let you know which day we can have maybe a class next week.
Yes.
Give me a few days to look at it. I contact you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Prabhupada.